Warning! The following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Geoguessr. We're doing leg 33 of 50 of A Diverse World Season 3. We are currently in 26th place behind Mapper. We have plenty of legs to make it into the top 25, which is the ultimate goal. But for some reason, we can never get perfect scores. That's the way life happens, apparently. Hopefully, sooner rather than later, we are able to break into that, but I understand if, I don't know, we suck that much that we can't. Our goal, obviously, get the highest score we can. We've had times where we've had 24,000 points and we didn't place in the top 100. So, it's an incredibly tough league, mainly because it's 5 minutes around. I'm not a big fan of 5 minutes around. I feel like we waste a lot of time. And you only really need the 5 minutes if you really can't find any clues. We're going to do our best to find the clues that we need. And this obviously is going to go up after everything is published. Well, not published, but after everything's done and said and everything's finished. So you don't have to worry about this. John Deere, Rua, which is Portuguese, 53, which is Brazil. And it's actually south. So this is... This might be 4 and this might be 5. It goes 1 over here, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6. So we should be in the south. Now, do we have the opportunity to find out exactly where we are in Brazil? Potentially. Are we going to find out exactly where we are in Brazil? Fuck no. São Gabriel, Dom Pedro, and Bagé. Can we find those? Maybe. Maybe. São Gabriel sounds very familiar. Like, very familiar. Dom Pedrito and Bagé. Never fucking heard of those places before in my life. And we are assuming we have the right area when it comes to the phone number. Which, oh, hey, Bagé? Bagé's to our south. Alright, we found 1. That's always a good sign. So this is to our south, so we can't be further south than this. São Gabriel is going to be right here. And then, so here's Bagé, here's São Gabriel. And now we need Dom Pedrito. But this should be to our west. East. So this is to our east. So Dom Pedrito is to our west. Here's Dom Pedrito. So, as of right now, this is the triangle of the 3 towns. Ibarre, perhaps? Kind of right in the middle. Tres Estradas, maybe? What is that, 3 streets? What does this say? This says kilometers in big sense to other places. So we're not going to pay attention to that so much as hopefully here's the traffic circle to the 3 towns. Hopefully there's something on here. The Rotary Club of Ponche Verde. I don't know what Ponche means, but Verde is green. Is there a Ponche Verde in this general area? It doesn't really look like it. The fact that there's a traffic circle is concerning. Because traffic circles usually mean decent-sized towns. Can we find... probably this one. Es do Livramento, which I believe was the one on the other side that was like 90 kilometers away. And that should be to our kind of north? Fuck. I don't see Es do Livramento anywhere. 90 kilometers obviously could be pretty big. Could be really big. But I still don't see it kind of in this general area. I think we have a good idea in between these 3. We're not going to get a perfect score. We're just going to guess. It ends up being Dom Pedrito. That ends up being the traffic circle. We are very close. RC does get the perfect score. I don't see that sign still. So Vicente du Sol, maybe, was what they were telling us about. 27 miles isn't bad. It's not. But we didn't get a perfect score. We didn't think we were going to get a perfect score, but still not a bad score for Brazil. We have the Uganda card. There's only really coverage around Kampala anyway, so we can kind of... I mean, there isn't, but if you get in the car, you're kind of in this general area. Maybe we could find something. Naturally cares for your family's skin. Cool. I just want something that says, hey, you're in, Kampala. Kampala, right there. Now, does that mean that is exactly where we are? Probably not. I'm sure most of these signs, like most of the signs in these covered African countries, do list the capital on most of their signs, even when you're not near or in the capital. That's just where the P.O. box is located, or the office, or whatever it's talking about on the sign. Obviously, we find everything, like every sign that says Kampala, we'll be more likely to assume we are in Kampala. For some reason, I feel like it's not a big enough city. Maybe as we get into the city, it might feel a little bit larger, and we might be more likely to believe it's Kampala. But the odds of us finding, 1, a street sign that tells us where we are, slim to none. 2, a sign that tells us, hey, you're in Kampala, slim to none. And 3, finding a perfect spot, probably pretty shitty. We are on east to west road, kind of. It's kind of, what is this? Northeast to southwest. I guess we could try to find that with a Mogas gas station. That might be the best thing we can do. But that's, again, assuming that we're in Kampala. We could be in multiple towns and villages in Uganda. It doesn't have to be Kampala. I think we just want it to be Kampala. Now, the smart person would be like, look, we got some hills and mountains in the background. That has to be around, these towns. That's not me. I'm not one of those smart people. I could tell based on the car that it's Uganda, and not much more. That's pretty much the range of my knowledge. That's usually all that matters, man. Fucking A. But as you can see, we've passed several roads by now, and I believe this is actually the first street sign we've seen. And it's not even a street sign. It's a bus stop location. But Kampala again. So the developmental site plan of the Kinawataka SDA Church. P.O. Box 22, Kampala. So an northeast, southwest road, this could work. There's a few of them that could. I feel like we might as well just guess the middle of Kampala. Obviously, it's not the middle, but this is coverage towards the airport. We're guessing. It ends up being a little bit northeast. This ends up being a road called Kureka, which we definitely didn't see. If we would have been able to find A109, maybe we would have been fine. But I'm, God, we're in Bhutan. This is the Tourism Council of Bhutan. This is the new coverage that has destroyed this entire country. Every last wonderful image that existed of Bhutan has now been destroyed by the Tourism Council of Bhutan. They decided to take it upon themselves to cover the entire country, which it's a good thing to do. The only problem is now we're back to Gen 1 coverage in countries that already had pretty beautiful coverage. If we could find a way to never have to deal with unofficial coverage, this game and Google Maps would be a better place. But Google sees it as a business opportunity. Why would you pay somebody an exorbitant amount of money to travel the world and drive around with a car to take pictures of the country when people from that country themselves are willing to do it? I believe Bhutan also is a very strict thing when it comes to driving in their country as a tourist. I don't believe you can. So Google would then have to hire somebody from Bhutan to drive their car in Bhutan with the Google employee probably in the passenger seat. But as you can see, it's just shitty fucking coverage. I really don't want to be here. I believe this road's covered, this road's covered, this road's covered. I don't quite know if this one is yet, and then the major road through the middle is. If we look around, it doesn't really feel like we're in the mountains. It kind of feels like we're in the lowlands approaching the mountains. So our best bet is to get one of these roads that go south. We'll go with the middle one because we don't know which one it is, but we know for a fact this is Bhutan. That looks like it's going down a mountain pass, so let's kind of go up here, I guess a little bit, and we'll guess kind of around here, and hope for luck. And actually, 21 miles off, that's a pretty fucking good guess. We're near the border with India, which maybe we would have figured out, but Bhutan, I know you're not watching this because you don't give a fuck, but you really dropped the ball, and you made your country look like shit from the Bhutan Tourism Council taking pictures. The real official coverage of Bhutan really makes your country look a lot better, and that's not going to improve your tourism one fucking bit. It's definitely the EU. We have bollards, but fuck bollards. It's not the French bollards, so that's a good sign. Can we find anything off of license plates? It's a single blue. We don't have any riffs from what I can tell. So it's not Portugal, it's not France, because I know French bollards. It's not Italy, it's not Albania, it's not Montenegro. It's still... It could be a lot of fucking places. We're looking for telephone poles and we're looking for language. Those are the two big things right now. We do have... Klusov with a weird accent on the L? I've never seen that accent before. That's a problem. But that definitely tells us it's not a Cyrillic speaking area, it's not English, it's not Spanish, and then that kind of pushes us eastern. So this is probably Eastern Europe. It's not Locam, so we can forget Switzerland. Romania? Maybe? Maybe a weird Czechia. Probably not Serbia. Serbia uses Cyrillic. It could be a weird Hungary, but I'm thinking more Romania. But now we have telephone poles, and those aren't Romanian poles. They're not Hungarian poles. I wish we knew bollards more, man. I really do. I feel like the bollard here would be incredibly helpful. Slovakia, Slovenia, Czechia. That's kind of the three we're at. Maybe a Croatia, but I think we would have seen something that told us it was Croatia. We do have a phone number. It ends up being a fucking .com. What is that weird L accent? I've never seen that weird L accent before. That's fucking weird, man. Okay. Not okay. Technology, nature, fresh, whatever the fuck that means. .sk. Perfect. That is kind of definitely what we wanted. So we're in Slovakia. Where the fuck in Slovakia? I don't think it fucking matters at this point. We were able to figure out it was Slovakia. There's another SK. Autosklo Bardejov. I think towards the beginning we saw a welcome sign. Not necessarily a welcome sign, but the name of the town. I just don't remember how far away it was, and that could be a problem. There it is. Alright. It was the weird name. It was Klusov. Klusov? It's going to be a small town. We're probably not going to find it. That's why our guess is kind of in the middle. If we find it, great. I would really love it. Do I think we're going to find it in 2 minutes? Probably fucking not. Are we going to spend 2 minutes fucking looking for it? Probably not. I'm probably going to get pissed off and be like, it's not fucking here, and just guess in the middle of the fucking country. We have a lot of Ks. Because at this point, we've now come to the conclusion it's not coming up at this distance. It already felt like a small town. It didn't feel like it was a super small village that would be impossible. It just feels like it's a small town. But then once you zoom in, a few more clicks, it becomes a lot harder to distinguish what you're looking for. Because there's just so many words and you kind of get like sensory overload. Here's a weird L accent. So I guess we're going to have to remember that weird L accent is Slovakia. But I'm still not seeing Klusov anywhere. It kind of sounds Russian because of the Sov at the end. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong and I'm probably making it sound more Russian than anything. But I'm feeling like that should probably put us to the east. Over by like the Ukraine. It kind of makes sense to me that it sounds kind of Russian. But that probably means it's to the west. And maybe we should guess the west because I'm not good at pronouncing anything, and I'm probably making it worse than it actually is. Or do we just guess the middle of the country and hedge our bets and hope we can kind of get the best score possible? Because the whole point of this is to get the best score possible. Let's take the play. Let's go East Coast. And it ends up being east. This ends up being north of us. Here's Klusov, our RC getting another perfect score. We're getting decent guesses and pretty decent luck in. But would we have ever found Klusov? We should have. We should have, and we just didn't. Because we were at this distance. So, I don't know what we saw here instead of Klusov, but whatever it was the wrong thing to look at. And then the final round. Turkey, maybe? We do have blue on the license plates. We need to find a good sign of language. It definitely feels Mediterranean. That's Spanish. Actually, no, isn't that Portuguese? Because Spanish would use the letter Y there. But it can't be Portuguese, because Portuguese would have the yellow. So maybe it is Spanish. But it could also be Italian. Castro Loberio? Maybe it's Italian. Yellow license plate. We did have vineyards. España. No, that's... And then Valencia and Malgaco. So Valencia is obviously over here. So the language we're looking at, here's the problem. It's telling me España, which I believe means Spain. Could there be a town called España? Probably. We're probably in one of those areas that don't speak Spanish, but speak, Catalan, and I don't remember the other ones, but there's a bunch of them. The different, sub-dialects in Spain. That's always a possibility, which would explain why we're confused about some of the language we're seeing. Because I don't quite speak Spanish. I've said this plenty of times. I speak restaurant Spanish. Valencia's 50 kilometers away. Okay. So that puts us in a good spot. Malgaco is 9. So, around here, we should be able to find a town called Malgaco. In theory. It's telling us it's to our west, which doesn't make any sense. Because there's nothing to the west. On N202, can we find N202 with enough time to then be able to find Malgaco? Here's N340, N111, N330, N234, and 235. So the 2s are to the north, apparently, according to this. How far in are we going to have to go to find N202? Which, if it's north, would kind of make sense. And then how far away is 50 kilometers? Far enough where we're fucked. But Valencia, which we're hoping that's what that actually translates to, and it's not actually Valenka, because if that's the case, then we're fucked. But I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm thinking too far into it. Maybe it is just Valenka. And Malgasio could translate to something different. That's a problem. That is definitely a problem. Can we find a different sign, perhaps? Because at this point, it says España, which is Spain. It said Valencia, which I'm assuming is Valencia. But where's N202? España with 2, that's a town name. Fuck. Can we find N202 anywhere? Anywhere. N111, 234, 122. We need to find 202. That's the problem. There are the 6s. There's the 1s. There are the 1s. Still in the 1s. 232, 240, 230. We need N202, 211. 420 probably doesn't exist. Everyone probably steals that one sign. 238, 211. I just need fucking N202. That's all I fucking need. And if it doesn't fucking exist, then fuck everything. 260. How am I unable to find N202? It's like it doesn't fucking exist. Obviously, we're not in the right spot, but all the 2s are in one general area, and the one number we can't fucking find seems to be 202. Are we blind? Did we miss it? Maybe. Is that a problem? Fuck yeah. It doesn't exist. It doesn't fucking exist. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? It's gotta be to the east, and it's gotta be in this general area. This is where all the 2s are. It's where all the fucking 2s are. So, what if that isn't Valencia? What if that's Valenka? What if that's its own fucking town name? We're going to Valencia real quick. Real quick. Where is it? There it is. We have 10 seconds. Does 202 come in here? 21, 35, it doesn't. I don't care what anyone says. 202 does not come in here. It has to be the northeast of the country. It has to be. Because everything fucking sucks. And it's nowhere near the north of the country. Well, it's north of the country. It ends up being Portugal, which makes sense for the España call. What doesn't make sense is that, because it's N301, not N202. Every license plate was Spanish, and it kind of makes sense for why it was. But really? Really? So it wasn't a border. It was just telling us, well, it wasn't a town. It was just telling us the border was 2 kilometers away. Everything else fucking sucks. Where the fuck is Valencia, or whatever the fuck that was, that's 50 kilometers away? Valenka. Really? Fuck that place. Really got the perfect score, Calamity in 6th. Fucking A, man. Even the cheaters, man, aren't getting perfect scores. What is that telling us? What is that fucking telling us? Mr. Blue's in 36th. Yeah, 66. Because of that one shitty fucking Portuguese place. Fuck Portugal. Fuck Portugal. That... Fuck that place. Fuck that place. And here's Montcal, or whatever. Bull fucking shit. We couldn't find anything anywhere. And obviously, we didn't play the full fucking time limit, but that was our worst fucking guess, and we went the entire fucking time. What does that tell you? What does that fucking tell you? But, that's going to be where we're called for the day. So thank you all so much for being here. I do hope you all enjoyed. I don't know why, but this Pro League gets me fucking frustrated all the fucking time. Yeah, there's something about it. There's something about this fucking Pro League that just pisses me off. Bullshit fucking locations all the time. All the time. And then fuck Bhutan. Bhutan, if you're watching this, change it. Stop it. Stop uploading that coverage. Ask Google to delete it, because you literally ruined fucking everything for your country by doing it. But until next time, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. And bye-bye.